Dudes and dudettes, it is a great day today, even though my material closed it at a slightly red. But let me explain. Do you know why it stopped at 3.73 today? And if you look at the timeline of when it hit 3.73, there's something interesting that I'm about to tell you. And for you to figure out what exactly that thing is, stay tuned and watch until the end. What is up, everyone? This is Diligence here, and I'm glad to tell you that this MMAT semi-bull run up to $4 isn't over yet. If you look at the chart here, we see a momentum going up from yesterday when Jay Powell announced that, hey, I guess that the economy is going to be fine and the inflation is going to preside and it's going to be high for the next few months, but eventually it's going to go back down to $2. Not $2, 2%. It's like saying, hey guys, it's okay to be the nice guy and we just go for the girl and just keep being persistent and asking her out. Eventually, when she gets old and she gets sick of you chasing her around, she's going to marry you, right? Same concept. So today what happens is everybody on the market is like, oh my god, everything's gonna be so fine. We're just gonna, everything go back to, the economic condition literally went back to, early June. Let's do another bull run. So, it went up, right? Well, you have to overlook that. Well, some people you're like, DD, are you overlooking this dip? That's normal, dude. If we look at every single day, okay? Let's do 15-minute chart. Every single day, what do we see? We were greeted with this relentless pullback every single morning. Right here, right here, right here. You see right here, like even here, okay? Right here, right here. Every single day. It's MetaMaterial is training our psychology right here. It's all about, it goes down and we have a massive heart attack. And then we sort of bite a dip a little bit, averaging down. And, Steven is probably scoping this thing. Because if you look at the pattern right now, we know a lot of people are scoping this, okay? But today's pattern also indicated that the long-term holders are more than the sculptors. So if we look at here, so this is what happens when you scope. And then this is what happens when shorts trying to come in. They're two different things, okay? And half of this is panic selling, and half of this is just option leveraging. If you go to the option chain and look at call versus put options, you probably will see, I haven't checked it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be call options. It's going to be less dominant than about 2 or 3 days ago, or even from yesterday, than put option, but call option probably will still be on the bullish side. The entire options is still going to be on the bullish side, and you will see a lot of people consolidate their call option position around $4 mark, which I have very high confidence that it's going to get about $4 early August. And the reason why you guys are here, because you're asking, DD, what happened at 3.73? I thought we were going to go up to 3.82. I mean, I didn't say we were going to go to 3.82, but 3.82 is the point that we want to go above, okay? But why? Why is it at this point? So if you're as observant as I am, around 9:30 over here, what happened here? What is this entire market doing, right? Because when you have stocks like MMAT, people categorize it as half meme stock, half sort of like a regular stock, which never finds its place, either in the gas industry or in semiconductor, but not really in semiconductor because they're not really producing anything. It still follows the general market beta, which means it actually have the same amount of market risk as everything else, but also in sector risk, it endures more sector risk because it's both in the oil sector and in the semiconductor sector, and also in advanced materials sector, if that makes sense. So when the market drops, this thing drops even further, but when the market goes up, it sort of rides a wave a little bit, but it doesn't really get the full effect of it. So if we look at S&P 500, where is my SPY? You will see the same thing. You see, around the same point around here, it almost reaches all-time high right here. You see, it almost The all-time high was like 0.05 higher than this point. So around about 9:30, every single thing sort of followed the SP 500 and followed the SPY, and everything sort of traded flat and then sort of traded down a little bit. And I suspect that VIX probably going to spike tomorrow morning. If we go check that, I'm just making this video blindly. Actually, I haven't even looked at the data yet. So if we go look at the VIX, it's going to spike tomorrow morning. As I indicated, VIX going to spike tomorrow morning. You see? You see the VIX pull up after market? You see this? You see this? You see this giant thing after market right here? That means people are worried. And also, if you look at short-term contracts, SQQQ is probably going to have a massive pull up. You see this? Because we hit another all-time high. Do you know the probability of 4 all-time highs hitting together within like a close 2-month period of time? The probability is pretty low. That means we're at the high end of implied volatility, which means there either going to be a big correction or the stock's just going to trade flat. But when a stock trades flat, it actually sends out mixed signals. But we're going to get into that later on in other videos. For those of you who just want me to post another video on the general market outlook and, when do I think the crash is going to be, and probably support it with some math and data, comment down below. And please smash that like button if you like our content, because we provide not only daily premium MMAT content, we also provide a lot of stock information that the general public don't want you to know, or the general public just are a little bit oblivious to, okay? Let's go back to MMAT. So what does SQQQ really tell you? It just means the buying volume tomorrow isn't going to be as great as on Wednesday. And people are cautious about, so today's upside basically is people FOMOing by buying a bunch of shares because they thought that, the all-time high train is going to keep going. And in this reality or in this universe, the train is probably going to still going, okay? It's still going to go for a little bit all the way until late August because the general economic condition is not really changing it, by the way, and also the crude oil price is probably going to stabilize around 74.51. But anyways, let's go back to MMT. So what do we want to see tomorrow, or what happened tomorrow, right? These are two different questions. So what do we really want to see tomorrow is, we want to see tomorrow the bottom of MMAT right now is somewhere around 3.4. We've already seen a significant, not really upside, but improvement in terms of people's bullish sentiments towards the stock. And as more and more call option coming in, as we are closer and closer to the call option expiration date on August 20th, and we are closer and closer to the earning forecast, or more like the first earning of Meta Materials, we want to see the stock stabilizes, consolidates around $3.82. And then when it just trades above that, and pew, around August 9th or August 10th, when George announced earnings and it's pretty good outlook, he doesn't do anything stupid, or the way how he announces is less technical. Maybe he sent us some good news, for example, telling us we're looking into doing A, B, and C. The projected revenue for that is A, B, and C. And if you look at our financial statement, that it showed that we have some deferred revenue, which they actually do, because they have multiple partners, including Lockheed, who still own the revenue for a project they work with. Okay, and also they should talk about some potential outlook for the market condition itself, the market size, and also how much AR glasses they proceed to sell. Which honestly, I don't think the hardware space in AR glasses are that big, but I guess if George chooses to use that portion of the market as its main sort of close future, short-term future entry point, I'm not a CEO, so I can't really be salty about it. So probably talk about the market cap, talk about how much they plan to sell, or more of like how the Airbus or the Airbus subsidy companies contract with them will help them sort of making more revenue. So in this stage, George just needs to prove to us that this company is on track to make more and more revenue all the way until the end of this year. And when Road to Rogue production comes out, he should talk about how the licensee is going to bring X amount of revenue in X period of time. It's going to be a SaaS model, so it is no longer a R&D company anymore. It's going to be a sort of a company with a subscription model that have monthly revenue over and over, or just annual revenue depending on how much licensing fee they're gonna charge for these OEMs. And as you can see, OEMs actually have a lot of interest in this metamaterial sector because they know that a lot of raw materials prices are going up, and the fact that metamaterials price can relatively stay stable if they can reach row-to-row commercialized production cycle. So what will really happen tomorrow? There are two scenarios that will happen tomorrow. A, we're gonna trade flat, and we probably see a little bit more downside because tomorrow morning the VIX is gonna spike, and due to the fact that aftermarket people are FOMOing or just panicking on short-term futures or S&P futures because they think the S&P and the NASDAQ future. Where's my NASDAQ? I think it's NQ, isn't it? Anyways, I can't find my NASDAQ. Well, actually I can. All I have to do is do this. See, we see a sort of all-time high here. And then it sort of pulled back, and tomorrow people what the sentiment are telling us is they want to see they predict, or how do you say this in a nicer way? They think people are gonna overreact again and start selling off because today we see another record high. And a lot of bullish news are coming out. 15,000. Do I hear 30,000? A lot of bullish news are coming out, and when medias are really pushing the narrative of another bull run, people are spectacle, okay? People are very spectacle, and when people are spectacle, they buy a lot of SQQQ for safety and for hedging purposes. And in our run, it sort of hurts our MMAT situation because we really need pumping volume. And if we go look at the short volume, we're around 39% for the day, which is pretty good, one of the lowest days. And if we see a significant volume increase over the next few days, or even just like a huge little candlestick that just pure buying volume, this stock will be at $4 in no time. Also, don't worry if you don't see any huge volume. It's just volume contraction, condensation, and consolidation. As long as the buy interest is more than the short interest, and as long as there are more and more people sort of have a solid position on the yearly contract, on the leap contract, and on monthly contract in terms of options, we're fine. I think we're fine. It's still too early to tell what would happen on August, but my prediction for tomorrow is it's either going to trade flat or it's going to mildly trade up a little bit. The probability of it increase another 12% to 15% is a little bit low, on the low side. So if we do a probability distribution, it will probably look like this, okay? So you will have on one end, you have the plus 10%, which will probably get us to where we want it to be, which is about 3.82. The probability of that is solely depending on how much volume you have. So we probably give it like a 10% chance. And you probably already have like a 40% chance where it's just gonna trade flat. So what I mean by flat is from 3.39 all the way to 3.5. You can see this is already a huge range here. And for those of you who are just playing around with this thing, probably you can day trade a little bit. And you have another 50% where, it's like the daily MMAT thing where it drops about 10, which will still give you somewhere around on the bottom from about 2 or 3 days ago. So that will probably sit you at this price. But again, the most probability, I probably won't say this is a 50%, probably like give it 40 and give this 150. So let's do this 150 and give this 140. Okay. And for those of you who are into expected value, you can calculate the expected value of tomorrow's return. In here, I don't want to put in too much math into this. And I think this is it for today's MMAT video, because I don't think there are any really, popped up PR news or George being a little bit quiet these days. And I've been thinking about making a general MMAT recap. It's gonna be a 25-minute video for those of you who, a lot of you just want to hear like the very, very concise version of that. So I will make like a 8-minute sort of very simple version of that, and then I will make another 15-minute version of all the goods and bads of MMAT, all the good DDs, not all the good DDs. Let's do 80% of all the good DDs and about 60% of all the bad DDs. And for those of you who are just entering the stock right now, you guys can have better DDs, and I probably should just post up one of those DD videos, so then we have a consolidated DD video, and it can sort of be a reference point for those of you who are just trying to let other people invest in this. And you don't want to provide them only for the upsides. We also want to tell them about the downsides. What are some possible stuff that could happen? For example, if the dividend in total isn't going to be amounted for $2 million, then there's not going to be a dividend payment and all those kind of stuff. I know a lot of you are going to say it's FUD, but it's not. It's really just truth and honesty. And a lot of us are in this because we understand how it goes. And a lot of you who just don't really want to do the DD, like Eddie, who's just lazy, I'll just do it for you and put it up as a video. All right. Again, we're not financial advisors, therefore we do not give financial advices. Everything we say on this channel is for shits and giggles only. And for those of you who haven't subbed, go smash that sub button and go smash that like button so more and more people will see our content. And we're stuck at 1590, I think, subscribers. We really want to get to 1700, because it's sort of low-key is my lucky number. Technically, my lucky number is 1733. But anyways, and for those of you who are mindful, go search up that year. You will see some very interesting stuff. Anyways, see you guys on the upside.